Good evening. Welcome back for some more Lord of the Rings LCG. Tonight we'll be playing the Hunt for Gollum Nightmare mode using the Treebeard Bond of Friendship deck, Bond of Fellowship deck that I played for a lot of the long extended party cycle. Didn't like that hand too much because it had too many high cost cards in it. This hand is nothing special. I'm always happy to see Gondorian Shield in the opening hand, though. So the card we start out with discards a resource from all heroes and exhausts them, which is somewhat inconvenient. Means I'm going to fail the quest in the opening round. So that's going to be some threat against me. I have to discard a card and add its cost to the threat of the Goblin Town Scavengers. So that's 3 threat against. It's going to increase my starting threat up to 39. That enemy is going to engage and attack undefended, but he only attacks for 1, so not too big a deal. And I decide to put that on. The undefended damage goes on Éowyn. So start getting set up, and at this point I realize I could have used Boomed and Trumpeted to take out that enemy, or block the attack, one or the other, but no problem. Hauberk of Mail is a card that never seems to get used. It's just hard to find, hard to come by leadership resources in this deck. So I got Unexpected Courage and Armored Destrier out on Beregond, so we're pretty well set up to deal with attacks. I decide just to quest with Éowyn. I'm questing lightly until I get set up. There's no reason to rush through Phase 1 here, and I get a Doomed 1, Doomed 1. Remove all progress tokens from Riverlands and the Goblin Town Scavengers. And Mablung adds 2 threats, so I do make 1 progress. And now I have to do the routine of looking at 3 cards, revealing 1 and discarding 2. As per phase 1 of the quest. And we'll go ahead and move to that location. So both these enemies will be handled easily by Beregond, and Treebeard will take out one of them. Beregond lowers threat. And I can do 2 damage to the other one. The Nightmare effect involves the clue going to a Mordor enemy if there's any left at the end of the phase, at the refresh phase. It's a mild one, doesn't add too much difficulty to this quest. Nor do I think is it intended to. This is early in the Shadows of Mirkwood cycle. So I take on some more threat, just 1 more threat. Only Beregond isn't committed to the quest. So I make some progress here. I've got a Sign of Gollum out, so I don't need to hang around anymore if I'm set up. Discard a resource from each hero's resource pool if able. That is the one I choose after questing successfully, and the other 2 get discarded. I can grab that clue after questing successfully, but I decided to just leave it there for now. Attacking enemy gets +1 shield, no problem. Still drop threat by 1. And I remember that I should have dropped threat for Frodo by 1 as well. Treebeard has no difficulty. So we got a clean board. Clue on board. And it can get a ally into play. Pippin. I think I decide here I'm just going to go ahead and push through. So it's going to be 2 progress. And choosing a card to reveal and 2 to discard. I think I'd probably go with one of the enemies. If the hunters from Mordor were still in play, or the warg was still in play at the end of the round, then the nightmare effect would take effect and the clue would go into the possession of the Mordor enemy. I think I just use Éowyn to take out the enemies here, though. So I need 10 progress on phase 2 to move on. Both these enemies are going to engage. Beregond can handle them without much trouble. So that enemy's base attack gets doubled, but no problem. Beregond does have 6 shields. And the Armored Destrier took out the Shadow card. So I use Éowyn's once per game since the Hunter from Mordor has 4 armor, 6 health. And I just use Éowyn to take out both enemies. Moves my threat up to 44, but I'm really not worried too much about threat with this deck. And we're on to the next round. Should be able to clear through phase 2 in 1 or 2 turns. Now at the beginning of the quest phase, I discard 1 card from the top of the deck and reveal 1. So I choose the location, I believe. And now I'm going to quest. And I need to search the discard pile for a clue card and attach it to a Mordor enemy in play. If able, which we are not able to because there are no Mordor enemies in play. And therefore this card gains Surge. And to another one of these discard resources. No problem. So I got 10 to 1 is 9 progress. And I could just go ahead and buff Treebeard by 1 and complete the quest. I choose to take control of the clue here. Either I don't think of buffing Treebeard or I decide I'm not going to do it here. I'm not sure which. Get out another ally. Make use of Frodo's ability again. And in this case I forgot to reveal 2 cards and choose 1. Do I eventually remember it? Now I do. So I could reveal the clue and the location and choose 1, and I choose the location. And then I have 1 more card to reveal. There it is. And it searches. It's another attach it to a Mordor enemy. I guess the quest expects there's going to be a lot of Mordor enemies in play at any given time. So, now I just need 8 progress. Trying to decide which location I'm going to move to. Either discard my highest cost ally or just have no particular effect. So it's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 plus whatever the encounter card is. I'm counting up if it's likely, if I'm going to succeed, or if I need to use Gandalf here. Dropping threat likely not necessary, but why not do it? And it's another location. So 6 to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 10 progress. That's going to clear the quest. Finish the game even without Treebeard's buff, which I had available if I needed it. So, pretty straightforward, this quest. In my opinion, the Nightmare effect on this one doesn't do a lot, and the locations are relatively tame. You can get overwhelmed by an inconvenient or unlucky streak of encounter cards. But I'd say this is more on the mild side as far as Nightmare quests go. At least that's the way it seemed to me. So thanks for watching.